welcome back. I'm your host, the Game Beaver. Today, we're doing more Jurassic World toys. So, to join me, as per usual, is my beautiful and talented assistant. So, here they are. These are the Wave 2 bashes? I don't know what these are. I think these are basher biters. Possibly. I don't know. They're sort of the cheap versions of the, I think they're growlers. They're basically, they don't have electronics. Their little flashing thing doesn't light up like these ones do. They're basically the cheap versions, you know, something that little kids, if they saved up their pocket money, could buy. I refer to them as basically McDonald's toys because that's what they look like. So right off the bat, we have these two. These are the recolorings. That's right. Paint jobs redone of already existing ones. I'm not even kidding. We're in Wave 2, or we were back then, and already we're getting same models, different coloring. Now there is one extra one, and that is the Ankylosaur, but that only comes with the Ankylosaur versus Indominus Rex playset that is only out in America, if I'm right. And for me, can only be bought on eBay for ridiculous prices. There's also a T-Rex breakout sort of set that comes with a really small gyrosphere that, I kid you not, comes with a cardboard cutout of a military person sitting in it. And not only that, but you don't get the recolored version, a reason to buy it, but you get the old, original, boring T-Rex that you wouldn't pay $10 for. And now you're going to pay even more. The only reason you probably buy that is for the fence, and that's that. That's the only reason you'd buy it for. But we're going to get into these. So already, this is the recolor. This is sort of like the Bull T-Rex, or yeah, from the Lost World. I'd say the Bull T-Rex. I don't know why they'd be recoloring. These are all about £10 in the UK. So that's probably about $10 in USA as well. Even though it doesn't round, it's probably more expensive for me. But in America, I'd say it's probably about $10 as well. Don't know why it's more expensive for me, because I've got to put up with the horribleness. So what's interesting is that these two have almost swapped colors. Stegoceratops was green, T-Rex was orange, sorry, like fleshy colored, and now they've completely swapped. We'll get into those in a second. The new ones, the ones we've been waiting for, is the Allosaurus, which is unique, completely unique, has its own sort of like model, its own new like animations, articulation. And of course, another one that is new and completely unique is the Pachycephalosaurus there, looking amazeballs. Don't know about the color, yellow. The same with the Allosaur. It's not a color I would have went for, but I really like the Allosaur. So before we do anything else, we're going to unbox them and get to reviewing them. Right. Oh no! Ah, oh, come on! We were almost there! You almost made it. Right, so there they are, all standing up. Before we get to these guys, because these are the ones I'm really excited for, I'm just gonna quickly talk about what's going on. What? Right. Okay, let's compare. I mean, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna compare these two. So we have the new one and the old one. Both, of course, have the same bullet holes all over them. The paint job is literally non-existent. I will say they actually paid more attention to the green one. And do you want to know what they paid more attention to? The eye. The only difference between both of these, apart from the color, is that the green T-Rex has a tiny speckle of white to give its eye a gleam. This one, nah, this one doesn't. So, I mean, what you do with this, you move it up and down and you wiggle it. Oh god, those arms are horrendous. Oh, no, no, no. You can't be serious. I haven't broke this, have I? Right. I'm going to show you something that might actually blow your mind for how stupid this is. Okay? Now look at this T-Rex, right? Look at its head very closely. Look at its bottom jaw. You see it? You see its bottom jaw? Fine, right? Looks okay. I mean, it looks like it's being cut apart like a pizza, but it's alright. Look at this guy's jaw. Look at his bottom jaw. It's broken off. Like, it's not even broken off. Look, I'm pushing it and it's not clipping in. How can I explain this to you? No, not you guys. Like, look at this. Look at this. His jaw is literally hanging off. Like, I can fit a finger and I can hold it. I can hold it like a fish from its gills under its bottom jaw. Can I do it with the other T-Rex? Oh yeah, I sort of can. But can you see the black space? Look at the black space and... I'm sorry, what? I am sorry, what? That is inexcusable. Like, I can understand. Like, I can sort of push it to where it should be. See that? And I can push it in. It should be like that. Like, there is a seam, but it's okay. But it hangs off. Oh my god. Holy... I mean, I gotta admit, like, the whole underside of it has, like, it's light green. The same with this one. It has, like, a light cream on it. Like I said, the only difference with this one is the fact that it's got, like, a little bit of colouring added to its eye, and that's it. And, of course, it's obviously a green plastic. Its mechanism's okay. Works fine. But I'm sorry. I cannot excuse that jaw. You compare it. No, I'm being serious. You might think I'm going over the top on this. Look. You can barely see any seam there. This one, like, they made mistakes, but come on. Okay, let's forget about that. Let's move on to the Stegoceratops. The other one that for some odd reason they decided to do a repaint of. Now, already comparing the two, I like this one, the green one, better. Its paint job just looks so much... It just looks far superior than the other one. For a start... This green guy's horns are all painted all the way around. Its beak's all painted. It's got some nice airbrushing sort of spray effect on its crest. We look at this one. Its horns aren't painted all the way around. Look at that. It's brown on the underneath of its horns. The only white paint is on the top. This, I don't know if you can see it closely enough, but it has like an orange paint underneath the white paint on top of it. And it's all over. It's like it had this orange paint and then they decided, wait, no, that's not good enough. Actually, they couldn't have. They wanted it to be like that. And why? I can understand if it's completely different and it's better. But the paint job on this is just not up to scratch. I will say, like, I had an error with this one on top of its horn. There, like, it's actually clipped off. I think that was probably something in the packaging, it got clipped. And on this one, it hasn't been clipped. There is no, like, bit of chip on there. Like, eyes, no, eyes are the same. And again, just like his beak only has a single paint brush stripe down the middle of it to give it some color. This one actually has it all painted. And we're talking about this was second. This came second. As if they had a chance to improve it, and they didn't. I don't know why I keep reviewing these. Expect a different outcome, and think that's exactly that's the definition of being insane. Doing the same things and expecting different outcomes. Right, that brings us on to the Allosaur. Something that, you know, I'm happy. I quite like this. It's new, it's colourful, and it looks awesome. It's a dinosaur that isn't even in the thing. Oh, look at that. It looks so cool, like, oh, that looks cool, and you can wiggle it as well, yeah. Do you want to go back in the box? No. I will say, like, the gap in between the tail is a bit like the T-Rex's jaw, but when you've got to wiggle it, so it has to have some room, but even when wiggling, there's a big gap in between. So I don't really understand why it has such a big gap, because you think, oh, that would give it space, but I'm wiggling it and the space is still there. Its head tilts to the side always, so it's sort of half looking at something. If you want to make it look straight, like that, you've got to hold its head. And even then, it wiggles. Like, you can push it to the other side. The spring holding it in that position is so frail that a tiny push can compromise it. That's amazing. And then, like, yeah, you can push that way. You can literally just shake it and its head would move about. Again, inexcusable bullet holes. Just not even covered up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of them. 5, sorry. 5. I forgot the one in the neck that's like, the screw is blatantly obvious there. So they couldn't really cover that one up. But, oh. Actually, it sort of looks better if all of the screws were that obvious. This one obvious, instead of just this black abyss. I think it might not look so bad. We've got some dry brushing effect on the back, just to bring up some of the scales a bit more with the black. That's quite nice. Overall, it is, like, for a £10 little model, it's not so bad. It does even have some little paint on the arm, so it's not a solid colour. Its fingernails and claws are painted because it's a very stylish Allosaur, obviously. And I will say, its eyes are really detailed, very in detail painted. Like, I'm just going to get a close-up shot of its eyes. Very small eyes, but it has its pupil painted. It has about 3 colours. That's nice. That is, like, they've actually put work into that one. I think there was a little bit of smudge of paint where it's slightly missed. Yeah, you got a red, and then a yellow, and then a black iris. The other side actually is perfect. The other eye is spot on, not a single mistake there. Okay, see, I can appreciate when something's good. And now to bring us to Whitney's favourite dinosaur, and that is the Pachycephalosaurus. All of these creatures have a sort of wound, but the Pachycephalosaurus is probably the smallest of all the wounds, if I can show you there. Yeah, it's very small. It's like a slight cut. This guy obviously wins all the fights. Its head has its same articulation. I'm just going to get a nice zoom in there. There you go. So, it's like an ice cream cone. Like, look at his head. You what, mate? You what? Look at that. Does it have... Yeah, oh, also, it's actually... Its attack is extending of its head. I thought it would be like a sort of... with its head, but it's actually extending its neck like some sort of weird deformed giraffe. Oh my god. I'm going to say the screw holes aren't bad on this model. And you can see it for yourself. They're not actually that bad. Can you spot them? You can spot about 2, right? You've spotted this one and this one, right? But there is actually one hidden there, quite cleverly disguised with the black marking. And there is also one hidden just there. That's good. This model is very basic, but the bits where they could have hidden it, they did. Okay, that's quite nice. Yeah, they've done... This model, actually, is, out of all of them I've seen so far, including, if you look closely... No, don't look at my t-shirt, look at the model. Like, look at its eye. Hold on. Its eye actually has a personality. It's, like, half closed. It's sort of like a really annoyed look. Is the other eye the same? Yeah, the other eye is the same. Okay, I've got to admit, out of all of them so far, Pachycephalosaurus has won my vote. For one, its wound isn't that big. Its screw holes are very neatly covered, and it's got nice detail on its eyes. Its colouring isn't that bad, actually. It's sort of... It reminds me of... Now, a lot of you will be sort of commenting saying, it's not realistic, it wouldn't look like that in real life, but we're talking about a kid's toy. It needs to be colourful, it needs to be vibrant, and just looking at it, it reminds me of the Super Nintendo Jurassic Park game. You remember how, like, the raptors were very dark brown, and the Dilophosaurs were, like, green. This, I could imagine it being in the game, and I would love, actually, to have a whole enclosure, because what I used to do when I was a kid, I would have anything. If it was a table, a desk, a chair, I would pretend that was its enclosure, so this would be its enclosure. And you would just put loads of the same species in there. And I wouldn't mind actually having quite a few of those Pachycephalosauruses, because then you could like have them head smash. Now I don't know about durability. I don't know if their head would come off, but if we just give it a quick go, I will say, you're probably going to get some scratches on its head. So it won't, that lovely smooth, nice paint job it's got on its head won't last 2 seconds when your kid's whacking it against the floor, other toys, or even your arm, because I'm sure little kids are going to run after you, like whacking you with this. It's not as deadly as Pachycephalosaurus we've had in the past. The Lost World one sort of had a feature on its leg where you could like headbutt, which wasn't that hard, which is alright, but there was a bigger version of it which was spring loaded, and you literally pushed in its head and then pressed the button and its head sprung out. And if you were to, I'd feel like if you did that on your tooth, there could be a chance you might break your tooth. It was that vicious. Some kind, like this, out of all of them so far, I've got to say this one is the best. Pachycephalosaurus, then we're going to have to go for Allosaurus. And if you haven't already picked up these, the original ones, like the Stegoceratops and the Tyrannosaurus, if you haven't picked up the Stegoceratops, pick the green one. Its paint job's better. And if you haven't picked up the T-Rexes, I would suggest, if they're all, look at the jaw first. If the jaw looks like this, get the original one. Otherwise, I think green's not too bad. I actually like its colour as opposed to the fleshy green, and the fact its eye has a little bit more paint job on it, paintwork. I prefer that. And that is probably going to wrap up this episode. So if you enjoyed it, leave a like, and until next time, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.